Blood transfusions were still rarely done by 1939, and a patient's family were the people who usually donated blood when it was carried out. As war loomed, medical authorities realized that blood transfusions would be essential for treating the wounded, both on and off the battlefield. There were several problems that had to be tackled. How could they collect and store enough blood? How could they administer it quickly enough to those who needed it? Before the war started in 1939, 4 blood depots were established on the outskirts of London to treat civilians. The Army Blood Transfusion Service was set up at Southmead Hospital, Bristol. Both advertised for local volunteers to donate blood. There were problems with the system. For example, many people just turned up and were unable to donate. But it did provide some blood which could be used from the start of the conflict. Problems with the organization of blood donation improved as the war went on. The Blood for Victory campaign, which began in February 1944 to supply enough blood for D-Day, was very successful, and unprecedented numbers of people donated. There still was not enough blood to cope with the numbers who needed it. Therefore, the American Red Cross organized the Blood for Britain campaign, where people in the USA donated blood, and it was sent to blood banks in Britain, where it saved thousands of lives. Research in the 1930s had uncovered that blood is made up of 4 components: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets and plasma. Methods were found to separate and extract the different components. It was found that plasma helps maintain blood pressure and volume, transports electrolytes and proteins around the body, is compatible with all blood groups. In 1934, a patient in the USA was first given a blood transfusion using just plasma. It was found to be successful. It was later discovered that as plasma is mostly made up of water, it could be dried. This made it very easy to transport and store as it didn't need refrigeration. Water could then be added before it was transfused into the patient. US scientist Charles Drew developed the mass production of dried plasma. The use of plasma saved the lives of thousands of wounded soldiers. It was easily transported close to frontline medical services, where water was added before giving it directly to the patient. It was not as effective as whole blood would have been, but it was impossible to transport and store whole blood close to where it was needed.